right, please be seated. Hi everyone, welcome. All right, well, before I begin my first ever speech, yes, first ever, I feel it's necessary to provide you with a little background on myself. For the last 8 years, Mr. Clusie and I have met with hundreds of prospective families, either in private tours or large group informational sessions. In fact, every family sitting here tonight has had the pleasure of meeting with one or both of us prior to enrolling their child at William & Reed Academy. As you might imagine, the frequency of these meetings has allowed us plenty of opportunities for honing our approach. In my very humble opinion, it includes the perfect balance of important school-related information, authenticity, and comedy. For example, at one point during our shtick, Mr. Clusie points at me and says, "She's the brains of the operation, I'm the good looks." Insert eye roll. While this isn't entirely true, I rather enjoy being in the background. I am perfectly content to work behind the scenes on my countless spreadsheets in order to ensure the efficient and effective functioning of the school. My coworkers have affectionately dubbed me the spreadsheet queen, a title that I take very seriously and a crown that I wear with great honor. I'm an introvert by nature, and for those of you who may be familiar with it, I'm an Enneagram 6. Enneagram 6s enjoy routine, predictability, preparedness, and stability. They also have a strong penchant for going from 0 to worst case scenario in less than 30 seconds. Dark clouds in the sky, batten down the hatches. Police officer nearby, what did I do wrong? Boss might have COVID the day before graduation, sound the alarm, panic, and cry in the teacher workroom. Well, it doesn't sound this way, I'm actually pretty fun too, I promise. All right, so while this talent often lends itself to exceptional problem-solving skills, it can also feel like a constant cloud of fear looming overhead. With that being said, imagine my surprise and mild to moderate panic, no horror, when Mr. Clusie called me yesterday morning to gently inform me that COVID-19 had infiltrated his household, making it highly unlikely that he would be able to attend graduation and carry out his speech-giving duties. Knowing that speaking in front of 200 plus people is hardly my idea of a good time, he enthusiastically told me that I was ready and to go get him, Tiger, like only he can do. So here I am standing before you, fear tucked securely in my back pocket, praying that I don't pass out during my first ever speech. So, welcome family, friends, faculty, and of course, William & Reed Academy's graduating class, our very own class of 2022. My name is Hunter, no, it's not. It's Lindsay Kelly, and I am not the head of school at William & Reed Academy, I am the Dean of Academics. It is truly an honor and slightly terrifying to stand before you to facilitate our 2022 graduation ceremony. I would first like to recognize the parents of our graduates. These parents trusted William & Reed Academy with their children's final years of formative education. These parents made sacrifices to give their children the privilege of earning the right to sit here this evening. Parents of our graduating seniors, please stand to be recognized. Next, I would like to recognize our faculty and staff. These teachers pour their hearts into our students each and every day. I am certain that when your children speak fondly of William & Reed Academy, our teachers and staff are consistently mentioned. Faculty and staff, please stand to be recognized. A graduation ceremony is always such a special occasion. On the one hand, it's the culmination of years of hard work, the actualization of goals attained, and the acknowledgement of successes achieved, an ending. On the other hand, it's the continuation of one's education, a celebration of what's to come, a step or a leap towards the real world, a beginning. As a lifelong educator, I have attended numerous graduation ceremonies. While there is always a celebratory tone to these events, I've often been struck by the fact that most of these ceremonies were impersonal at best. The speeches generally include a laundry list of data that, taken alone, is rather meaningless. They highlight the number of college acceptances that the senior class has received, the total dollar amount of scholarship awards earned, the percentage of students that took an AP course while in high school, and the average ACT score of the senior class. Now don't get me wrong, these facts are not unimportant. However, they only tell a very small portion of the story. While the class of 2022 is undoubtedly successful in terms of data, I would prefer to spend this time talking about the amazing group of individuals sitting here in front of me this evening. Because while there is impressive data to share, they are so much more than their college acceptances, grade point averages, and ACT scores. And they deserve to be recognized for their character as much, if not more, than their accolades. Over the years, we've noticed that each graduating class has its own personality, the result of various personalities melding together to form a sort of collective identity. In some years, this melding process has gone off without a hitch. Either the students have known each other for so long that they flawlessly coexist, or they have so much in common they were essentially destined to become friends. In other years, it's like a psychology experiment gone awry. Though the students have the best of intentions, they never quite learn to synchronize as individuals. Despite the ease or challenges that inevitably come along with the melding process, by the time graduation rolls around, each class has cemented its personality. In no particular order, there has been the kind group, the spunky group, the group that caused a few gray hairs, the they had senioritis as sophomores group, and a few groups in between. I can honestly say, without a doubt, we've loved them all. And reflecting on the collective personality of the class of 2022, they are best described as genuine. They are unabashedly authentic, not afraid to be themselves or to encourage others to be themselves. When looking at it from the outside, one might see the typical high school stereotypes: the brainiac, the beauty, the jock, the cheerleader, the eccentric. However, upon further inspection, these students sitting here are anything but stereotypical. Despite what one may see, each of these seniors has embraced their strengths and their challenges. More importantly, though, they've embraced and celebrated each other's strengths and challenges. The brainiacs cheer on the jocks, and the jocks applaud the brainiacs. The cheerleaders and eccentrics choose to hang out with each other on the weekend, and it turns out that the beauties are actually best known for how beautiful they are on the inside. Collectively, the William and Reed staff has countless stories about this year's senior class. Some of them funny, even hilarious, some of them touching and heartwarming, some of them simply mind-boggling. To name a few, there was the funeral for Riley's trend-setting and beloved Crocs. Will's flawless delivery of his meat manifesto, which I learned today he still knows. Too many Adam Findlay memes to name. Daria arriving early every day simply to hang out with Miss Taylor before class. Pratik gracefully accepting his fate at Wampus. McCord, if this whole golf thing doesn't work out, you definitely have a future in dodgeball. I think Pratik can attest to that. Yeah. Alexander's sandwich obsession. Issa finding her advocate voice. And of course, Joanne. We have watched these amazing students grow, take on new challenges, rise above adversity, and become the genuine and cohesive class that they are. Never once faltering to encourage each other, love each other, and embrace each other. As author Brené Brown states, true belonging doesn't require you to change who you are, it requires you to be who you are. To the class of 2022, to truly be oneself and accept others as they are demonstrates great strength, and we are so proud of the legacy you leave behind. You have impacted us as much as we have hopefully impacted you. You have left a lasting imprint on William and Reed Academy, and we are all better for knowing you. You have so much to offer this world, and this world needs you. It needs your strength, your kindness, your caring natures, your consideration and thoughtfulness of others, and most of all, your authentic you. Congratulations, class of 2022. We simply adore you. Oh, one more piece of advice, if I may. Do things that scare you, because if I can survive this right here without passing out, you can survive anything. I'm now going to invite Kristen Sumner to the stage. Sorry.
That's okay. All right. I was going to introduce our 2022 Salutatorian, Alexander Monks, using only Post-it notes. But Ms. Juhas said no. Being selected to introduce a student that I admire is an incredible honor and an intimidating one, since as a science teacher, I'm not the most eloquent writer. So what I will say about Alexander will only be expressed the best way that I can from the heart. He was one, if not the top, chemistry students during his sophomore year, and I was so excited at the prospect of challenging him in AP Physics 1 the following year. However, Alexander had other plans for his junior year science class, which he chose to be anatomy, and he disregarded my very strong recommendation, even though I have to admit he had some decent arguments. In hindsight, this turned out to be a good decision, as he would have taken a very hands-on class remotely due to COVID. He fulfilled his promise to come back to AP Physics 1 his senior year and immediately set the tone for the class. He sometimes served as a translator for the class, the only way Alexander can, using the oh so very scientific terms such as thingy and because science. Also referring to experimental procedures as shenanigans. I know he forced me to become a better teacher by being that student, which made me bring my A game every day. I can only hope I didn't let him down. Outside of school, Alexander is a jack of trades and master of all, except for maybe tennis, where Coach McKenzie says he is average, and sleep. Does he ever sleep? He volunteers, he helps others, he contributes, he leads, he is constantly learning. He is all of these things. As Ms. Uhas puts it, he is a Renaissance man. And while I will miss seeing Alexander's wry smile every day, I know that our loss is most definitely Georgia Tech's gain, and I could not be more proud of him. I introduce Alexander Monks.
Thank you, Ms. Sumner. Good evening. Before I begin, I feel compelled to address the extreme tragedy in Texas yesterday. It is excruciatingly disheartening that those children will never have their own graduation. So please join me in taking a brief moment of silence to commemorate them. Thank you. I believe Will and I first realized we were competing for Valedictorian in our sophomore year. And despite Will ultimately winning out, I still titled this document Valedictorian Speech, contingent on Will moving to Zimbabwe. Unfortunately, Will still sits in the third row with extreme confidence. Jokes aside, I love Will, and I'm incredibly excited to spend the next 4 years with him at Georgia Tech. He perfectly encapsulates the wonderful class of 2022 and everything great about Will and Reed. But it's estimated that we come in contact with roughly 80,000 people in our lives, which is terrible for pandemic prevention, but should serve as a reminder of our potential individual impact. I mention this because as we go our separate ways, each of us will touch the lives of countless individuals. So we must curate a personal message to each person we encounter to positively and deliberately direct the immense power of our interactions. It's also important to be cognizant of our vocational impact. Should we rashly chase wealth, or should we wield our efforts towards genuine benefit? Who do we want to become? What should our impact be? How should we be remembered? These are all questions that should be on our minds as we enter this next stage of our life. We are the up-and-coming generation, and like all the generations that came before us, we will undoubtedly be the reason this country fails in a burning and dramatic fashion. In all seriousness, when hindsight becomes 20/20 and our prime has passed, should negatives define us, or should our achievements elude the dwindling effects of time and deliver all for millennia, like the pyramids of Giza? As we specialize our skills in this next chapter, we must take a step back beyond our current motivations and aspirations to explore the potential long-term ramifications and broader impact, and shape our behavior to bolster a greater purpose? Should we design meaningless trinkets or contribute to a project representative of our dreams and that delivers legitimate innovation? Oftentimes, when discussing the true value in our lives, it circles back to people. The relationships we build make life worth living, so we should preserve existing relationships while fostering new connections. As young people, our future manifests as an open field of dreams, granting us the opportunity to direct our ambition and choose a path that aligns with our desires. Many people place their effort chasing the superficial along undesirable paths, but it's only when we sift through the meaningless undergrowth that we discover the yellow brick road. In The Wizard of Oz, after being displaced, Dorothy embarks on a journey through the mysterious land of Oz to return home to Kansas. And while I cannot fathom why anyone would willingly seek out Kansas, we can learn from Dorothy. On her journey, she encounters a scarecrow needing a brain, a tin man needing a heart, and a lion needing courage. On the surface, these broken characters appear to be a burden, but ultimately, they assist in her return while simultaneously relieving their own afflictions on the way. So Dorothy displays that our individualized yellow brick road reveals itself through connections, friendship, and love. Whether we aspire to revolutionize an industry, become a veterinarian, or simply make shopping a pleasure, we must realize that the people we meet along the way and our pre-existing relationships are the true yellow brick road. This yellow brick road only reveals itself through the intentionality of our interactions and aspirations. Bridges burn easily if we're not careful, but once we find our brick path, it can shine long after we're gone. Just as Rome wasn't built in a day, it also wasn't built alone. In a study where teachers were given bogus, randomly generated high test scores, the students with the high test scores substantially outperformed the students with the low test scores. Innate ability did not propel these successful students. Instead, their teachers' belief in them and their belief in themselves delivered their achievements. Every member of William & Reed's faculty believed in me throughout my 5 years here. Even Mr. Cluthy cheered me on at cross-country meets where I was striving for a sub-50 5K. I appreciate all that you have done for each of us. However, Mrs. Messick, my 9th grade biology teacher, has disproportionately impacted me by assigning a research project on a biology career. I researched biomedical engineering for my project, which currently stands as my intended major at Georgia Tech. So thank you, Mrs. Messick, for the inevitable immense pain and sleepless nights. Sometimes ignorance really is bliss. Over my time at William & Reed, I've connected with countless members of the graduating class. And while I am simply the kid who showed up to community service in skinny jeans, I vehemently believe in each of us. We must uncover and embrace our intrinsic capabilities, which are lying just beneath a shallow pile of leaves. If we cherish and celebrate the abilities of ourselves and our peers, we will surely uncover the luster of the yellow brick road. A year ago, before we started our senior year, my good friend Dom, who's at least 7, maybe 8 feet tall, relative to me at least, asked if we would cry after graduating. And after seeing last year's seniors make an emotional departure, I was unsure. But this emotion stems from the lives we each live. Each of us is infinitely fortunate for the opportunities granted to us by the wonderful parents and mentors that stand behind us. And while Dorothy was surely glad to return to Kansas, part of her undoubtedly longed for the magical wonders of the land of Oz. We currently sit in the same bittersweet limbo, sad to leave the life we love, but eager to embrace the next adventure. A few weeks ago, trying to stay out of trouble, I curiously watched a kidney transplant surgery video, which seemingly might be the most stereotypical monks thing ever. And one of the comments resonated with me. We're going off deep end, ladies and gentlemen. But it read, I need to start appreciating my life, seemingly in awe of the miracle of human life. But it really struck me. Every day, Every moment we have on this planet is a gift, so we must make the most of it. Over this past year, Asa roped Andrew and me into running cross country and playing tennis, where we truly exemplified the qualities of professional athletes by managing to hit the ball occasionally. Or as Ms. Sumner already mentioned, Mr. McKenzie remarked, we were beautifully average, which was an extraordinary embellishment. We were horrid. But it didn't matter. Our competitions may not have uncovered the next William and Reed athletic gyms, but they cemented the sheen of the yellow brick road by invigorating cherished connections. I cannot sufficiently thank the exceptional teachers who constantly go above and beyond. From Mr. McKenzie constructing a personal workout plan to Mrs. Snyder blessing us with formula quizzes, and Mrs. Sumner offering to personally prepare me for the AP Physics exam. Mr. Paris, Mrs. Blevins, Mrs. Uhas, Ms. Taylor, Mr. Brothers, and Mrs. Galding, y'all are incredible. For my perfect parents and brother, the Carlsons, the Kennedys, and my Oma and Opa, thank you for everything. Y'all have, for better or worse, made me who I am. I love y'all. Congratulations to the class of 2022. Thank you and have a lovely night.
For those of you who don't know me, I'm Chelsea Blevins. I'm the Director of College Counseling at William & Reed. Parents, we would like to thank each of you for allowing us to help your child find their voice, as well as some direction with their next destination. Seniors, I am beyond proud of each of your accomplishments. You are a great group of young men and women, and we are excited for you to experience the next chapter in your life. It is always important to remember the journey and those who have supported you along the way. Seniors, you now have the opportunity to express your gratitude to those that have most significantly impacted your journey thus far. Each of you will receive 5 roses. I ask that each of you hand a single rose to 5 different individuals whom you would like to thank for their continued love and support. As these seniors are passing out roses, please direct your attention to the screen on stage. Congratulations, class of 2022.
Nicholas Eugene Cusick. Aria Kieran DeVay. Rhea Laura DeVay. Adam Mark Brown Finley. Noor Ramadan Fong. Joshua Harrison Germain. Madison Patrice Germain. McCord Sherman Grice. Zoe Yana Grunwald. Michelle Annette Laurie. Bree Lissa McGee. Alexander Daria Lexi Nichetsky.
A fotografia.
Kaylee Dalton Rosen. Sophia Cecilia Rousseau. Andrew William Siebert. Riley Knight Strump.
Ну что, всех что ли снимает?
Isabel Maria Teana.
Не, могу приблизиться. Вот так.
Matthew Stephen Walkie. Asa Lee Wong. William Thomas Wyatt. Last and certainly not least, Dominic Douglas Ramey. You are so unbelievably close. Are you ready? I would now like to invite Riley Strump to the stage. Sorry, wait, you're fine. A little bit long of a walk. No.
Any of on memories? Come on, give us something.
Well, I mean, besides the Crocs thing, not really. I'm just joking, obviously. There's so many. I could list countless, obviously. I mean, even the band right here, amazing. Obviously. It's you are great, I promise. Alright? The end of this long and challenging journey, and the left side represents that everything is only the start of a new beginning. I'm immensely proud of all of us. The courage and strength we have shown are what brings us here to celebrate this day. It's even more special because a tassel moved to the left side is in alignment with one's heart. I know for certain all 23 of us have chosen a heartfelt and unique journey for our next chapter. If we follow our hearts, we will never be led astray. I'd like to leave you with the words of Martin Luther King Jr. Take the first step in faith. You don't have to see the whole staircase. Just take the first step. At this point, I'd like to invite the class of 2022 to stand together one final time. Place your hand on your tassel and turn it to the from right to left. Congratulations.